Outside on the corner where I caught the bus, thinking in my head it's colder than I thought it was. Sometimes life is like that, and you just quiver your lips, whisper a wish, hoping someone might give us deliverance. Now deliver this message, think I could live with this message. You could just give a few seconds to come and sit in my presence. And yes, it is so precious, yes, it is a blessing. Next, I'll attempt to express it with every heavy breath, cause just to make it worth it, and just to make it real, you always made it perfect, and that's the way I feel. Sometimes we think too much, and we lose control, but it's not what you know, no, it's who you know. Days that will not end, I'm sure you've had them too, wishing you're still in bed, and yet we have to move. This is what passion do, this is what passion does, it's on my planets too, start sending back the love.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is me, Dukect, and right now you are listening to the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for listening to me, Dukect. The phone number is to call in to talk to me is 724-444-7444. Once again, the call me, Dukect, is 724-444-7444. Once again, dial in is 724-444-7444, and the call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. Once again, the call ID is 92417. Well, it's been an interesting week. It looks like it's starting off with a big one. Total nonstop action, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like it's going to be sold. I didn't watch any bit of Impact because I was rushing to get my Endgame review done for my Halloween, especially when I did it with barely a minute to spare. Yes, it is up on Blip. I'm trying to see if I can put it on YouTube if after this thing. If not, well, you know. Anyway, supposedly, if you haven't heard already, TNA supposedly said the Carters want to sell TNA, and it's supposedly Eric Bischoff is going to be buying it. And a lot of those people saying Viacom or other people are going to be this, that, yeah, talking about like, oh, maybe it's going to be another like some MMA type company, you know, someone interested in MMA. Some are throwing out other people like, say, last I heard about someone buying it is going to be supposedly is going to be it looks like it's going to be like someone buying it is not looking at it as a pro wrestling or something. It looks like it's like a television property because Impact has a bigger audience than Bellator, which is so I'm not surprised that Viacom's not going to pick it up. And supposedly the rumor was that Robert Pereira, supposedly the principal owner of the Memphis Grizzlies, was supposed to be an interested party in this, but not so, because supposedly PWR has reported that Dixie sent out a memo that any rumor of Panda Energy selling the company is completely false. And I want to talk about this, because if it's supposedly Dave Meltzer said that they were looking to have a buyer. Everyone's saying TNA is going to be sold. This is the last days of TNA. But if this memo is true or what have you, what does I say about Meltzer? Is that his credibility is shot? Or this is something, oh, well, she has to say that because their stock or people are not going to buy it is, you know, what have you. I mean, they want to increase, like, oh, well, they're not looking to someone to give it up, so people might go and buy it, you know, off of Pan Energy. Some would say something. It looks something very interesting to me. And it's saying if it's true that this has just been one big ruse, then honestly, it wouldn't surprise me that, oh, well, TNA is going to be, you know, the Carters want to give away wrestling, but, you know, it looks like it's not going to be. But if it is someone like, say, we're just trying to drive the price up or everything else, you know, if it is, I hope TNA goes to a better owner that Dixie Carter, and I'm not telling storyline purposes, but honestly, Dixie Carter made some really piss poor decisions. as the owner. And at the end of the day, her name and the Carters and everything else, Panda Energy, you have to look at the top, and they're on the top, and there's a lot of bad decisions, what have you. I mean, Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, hiring those two was a bad idea. Hiring Vince Russo was a terrible idea. These things and this stuff is really, and to me personally, I want to honestly hope that if TNA is going to get sold, I want to be with an owner with some clear vision, something with very positive look, and think that maybe they could actually fix this company around, a new direction, which hopefully they're heading towards. If they do this whole CM Punk storyline, what have you, I don't care. To me, I actually don't mind it because at least they go further with it, which at least at this point, having CM Punk leave and then come back after a week or what have you, really it really was the warning signs about this storyline. And then you have Kevin Nash, and then, that whole thing went to hell. So, by virtue of this thing looking like AJ's going to defend the title around, I think he's going to defend it over in AAA Mexico at first. That thing alone basically makes it better than the CM Punk storyline. Promos be damned or what have you, but where did it lead CM Punk? Well, he got a year title reign, but for most of it, and let's be honest, for the most of that championship reign, he was relegated to the mid-card. I'm serious. CM Punk didn't main event a pay-per-view. He did not main event a pay-per-view. The last time he main evented very few pay-per-views during his full babyface run as champion. The only time he main event was like TLC 2011, and then the real main event was, Night of Champions, 2012. He wasn't really the focal point. It was always about John Cena and whatever misadventures he had. John Cena was on the forefront, and it really did I think it just killed him. CM Punk was booked more as an Intercontinental champion, and John Cena was more booked as a WWE champion. But, hopefully with this storyline with AJ, I know it's a ripoff with CM Punk, but in the end of the day, I think that storyline is going to get a lot more over, and hopefully this won't be the death throes of the company. And I'm truly hopeful that if this is true, hopefully they got better, and it looks like it's going to be, the Carters are not going to sell, but if they are going to sell this company, which honestly some people are saying it looks like, they're trying to make, they look like they're trying to kill off the buyout rumors, which some people are saying, but if they do sell it, here's hoping it goes to an owner with some good vision, treats it like an alternative, and basically try to make an alternative, not with WWE Light. Not saying they shouldn't compete with the WWE, but make it its own thing. Try to focus its stars and build and get some new people around. Clear up the air of the Bischoffs and the the new head creative. Put people who are truly really good with creative. Hell, like I said before, Mike Quackenbush, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, Shikara is dead. I don't know what they're doing, dead, alive. Hell, Schroninger Shikara is alive or dead. I don't know, but if he's not doing anything, pick him up, have him write at least, I don't know, the mid-card at least. Bring back the TV championship. I'm not saying get rid of the X Division championship, but book one division or something. Have them grow from there and see if any type of good ideas come out. But that's just my personal opinion. But then also hire some more talent. I know they're having some budget issues, and it looks like hopefully that budget cuts. After they have the budget cuts and they get leaner and everything else. I think it will be a very positive thing, positive stuff. But it just seems to me that that TNA getting sold, these rumors and everything else, and it looks like it's supposedly that TNA might be, well, the TNA is going to be sold. I hope it is for owner. If not, well, I just hope it's not WWE or someone who's just, completely even worse. Because the old saying, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. So people are saying we get rid of Dixie, but someone could be completely and utterly worse. So, you never know. So let's just hope and pray that TNA, if they are going to sell, if Pan Energy is going to sell TNA, let it be a responsible owner, a more owner that will put TNA in a positive foot forward, put them in a position of being the alternative, not to be the soul crusher W, but something that people like myself or other wrestling fans, can sit down and say, hey, WWE ain't doing good, so let me watch this instead of watching Ring of Honor and, watching their online pay-per-views and, having a glitch out every 5 minutes. But anyway, that's my little take on this whole thing. I want to hear your stuff in the comments and everything. I want to hear what y'all people think. Is TNA going to be out of business? Is TNA the new ownership? Would it be a good thing? Hopefully it'd be a good thing. And do you believe this little thing out there that PWI put out there that they're not looking to sell, and the Panda Energy is going to, you know what? We're in this together. We're in this. Let's do this. That's just my thing. Anyway, we'll be right back right after this, and hopefully you like the music here on the Dukect Lounge. We'll be right back right after this. Thank you for joining me, Duke C. T. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is me, Dukect. Live. Phone number to connect to me, Dukect, is 724-444-7444. Once again, the number is 724-444-7444. And the call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. Once again, the call ID is 92417. Now, let's talk a little video games now, shall we? Batman Arkham Origins. A game I actually pre-ordered and I enjoyed. In fact, I think it's, to me, one of the, it's not as great as Arkham City, but it's close. Now, I know some people say, oh, it's the same thing and all this type of stuff, but you know what? I have a motto. When it comes to games and movies, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But for the most part, I am really enjoying the game so far. I like interesting some characters, some nice plot twists, which I will not spoil, by the way. I like the writing. I think it's really good. And honestly, the boss battles are really engaging. I know people hate them, but I really like them, especially Deathstroke. I love his boss battle, by the way. I don't know playing him as well. But there's a bit of problems with Batman Arkham Origins. Is bugs. And honestly, as I played them, in fact, I sit and play, I like it, I love it, is, well, game-breaking bugs. For example, you have, people who like myself. Here's something interesting. You have the inability to continue the story from the main menu. Well, this happened to me many times. In fact, this is the first time when I plugged in the game. I couldn't do anything. I actually had to do the Warner Brothers ID thing. In fact, it was supposedly so busy that I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get into the game for like 15 times. I loaded it up. Everything was right. It just said busy. It couldn't load. I was like, what the heck's going on? And all it did was show Batman doing 1,000 poses like this. brooding and doing the same type of stuff over and over again. Then it just stopped and froze. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I kept redoing it, and it finally let me in after I just clicked the thing saying, I don't care about the Warner Brothers thing. I don't care what type of extra suit or what have you. I don't care if it gave me $1 billion, $1 billion of in-game currency, like GTA 5 does or what have you. God, honestly, seriously, the new games I'm playing, GTA 5, everything else. Seriously, why? I know, sometimes these bugs come out of nowhere, but seriously, do they not game test these things? Can they just say, you know what, even with all the time they have with GTA Online and one of those with GTA 5, Rockstar, and everything, couldn't they fix these things? Like, they had a month, years. They knew this stuff was going to happen, and yet this stuff happens. It pisses me off. And not only Batman Arkham Origins, these bugs are literally game-breaking. Here's another one. Free flow focus mode not unlocking upon reaching Shadow Vigilante Rank 3, which, honestly, I haven't had that happen, but Lord knows, I feel like it, I wouldn't be surprised it happened to many other people. That's why it's noted on this GameSpot news article. And another one, infinite falling out of the world. Probably when he's falling out of the world, and basically you fall into a pit and you just keep falling out of the world. And actually, I think Angry Joe talked about this in a video about Arkham Origins, and the bugs is actually sophisticated to the PC version. The bug preventing players from navigating the vent in Burnley Tower. You had to go out in the vent. Nope, you can't climb up. Batman just can't climb up. He's stuck. He can't get that vent for whatever reason. It was like, wow, it's really bad. And also the 360 version, and here's their thing. Supposedly, to temporarily bypass the crashes, Warner Brothers is recommending 360 players, people like myself, disconnect their consoles from the internet while playing. Bravo. So basically, I have to unplug the internet, basically say, I can't play the game while it's online, which most of my games I play online regardless of online multiplayer, which I haven't played yet, which a lot of people say is actually pretty fun. But I have to play the game online, so I have to get past the freezing and game-stopping glitches that I can't really... I'm in the middle of going through Gotham City. I'm like flying, doing everything else, taking out back, and then game freeze. I'm like, what the hell? What am I doing wrong? And I'm really into it. It's like 2-3 hours in, and I mean, seriously, I haven't logged in like, say, GTA 5 level hours yet, or LA Noire type, because honestly, with Arkham City and Batman Arkham Asylum games I still have and love, I went in, I played like 7, 8, 9 hours of these games when they first came out, and I sat there and played them, and with no hiccups whatsoever. This, on the other hand, I only play like 2 or 3 hours because every time I get a good groove in, bam, frozen. I'm like, seriously. I know. It pisses me off. It really pisses me off that, when they have these games and stuff, it's like, do they not play test these things? And if it was going to be so buggy and so badly played and all this type of coding and all this type of craziness, why not just delay the game and wait till these things get ironed out? Just say, you know what, guys, I know we could fix this, but, for you guys, we're going to wait until we fix the proper product. I know back in the day, you couldn't do this crap. You didn't do this stuff. I know there were bad games out there and situations. Probably was some bugs, but, it feels like these game designers are saying, like, okay, we just get the game, 75, 80% done. Who cares? We can just patch it. It just feels like, we could just do a half-assed, a game that's half-assed, and they feel like they don't even care about it. They don't even care. They just say we can just patch it, and all things will be golden and what have you. which just piss me off. It's just really, and all this type of stuff, and I feel like, it just takes a game like Arkham Origins, which I am a very, I really like this game, but it just seems like, what? Don't even try to play it. It's just like, it feels like, it just seems like, it feels like they just they just feel like, they can always fix it later instead of fixing the game right now. I know there's some things are unseen bugs or what have you, but it bothers me how these modern games, it's going to get probably even worse when the next gen starts, that they are not even be really complete until, they can put a patch in. We're going to put a patch in so everything is fine. We'll give you more in-ring currency. It's going to be fine. Or we'll just do this stuff. And, letting the players have to do all this other crap just to do everything else. It just pisses me off. It pisses me off that the players, the people we give the money to, we give them a trust. $60 plus. $60 to buy these games. And this is how, this type of stuff. It's just becoming too regular now. I know they got deadlines, and they need to make their money. And I think, honestly, probably, when you have stuff like, say, Watch Dogs doing that huge lane tactics, Ubisoft took a real big hit. And, probably is like, what? I think bravo from Ubisoft to actually be that ballsy and basically saying that maybe there are some big glitches and everything else, and let us try to fix them. I guarantee they probably were, and they took a big hit. And I think that shows and hopefully that means that they are really working hard in the game. And maybe, maybe that's why they pulled it off the market, pulled it off, say we're going to delay it, because there's probably some game-breaking bugs. We need to fix these things. They could actually add on a patch, but at the end of the day, they probably said, what, nah, man, we need to make sure this is a good game when it comes out. There might be some bugs we might miss, but at least we'll have a good product for people out there. That's what I'm hoping for with Ubisoft. It frustrates me. It really frustrates me. Anyway, we'll be right back after this, and I'll be talking a little WWE news, bring it back to pro wrestling. We'll be right back right after this. Thank you so much for listening to me, Duke CT, live here on the Duke CT Lounge. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be right back right after this.
Trying to find our way out and put this darkness behind us. And underground is my oration, sound integration. But situation is we're surrounded by light negation. This black is pitch cause we're trapped by our violent souls. In a deep mind with deep rhymes won't keep my self-control. Too many foes, we feel snake bit and we won't take it. Enemies need their face hit, we going ape shit.
Hell is my confinement within this mind. Now
ladies and gentlemen, here at the CT Lounge. Phone number, as always, is 724-444-7444. Once again, the number is 724-444-7444. And the call ID to connect to me, DCT, is 92417. Once again, the call ID is 92417. Well, it was very interesting because yesterday, WWE had an earnings call. And it looks like, well, things are not looking pretty good. Supposedly, worldwide buys for the 3 pay-per-views, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, Night of Champions, pay-per-view revenue was down 10%. And, well, and not only that, but besides Money in the Bank, which got an upgrade from 11,000 plus buys, because last year was 188,000 buys, this year was 199 buys. SummerSlam, woo! SummerSlam 2012 was 358,000 buys. SummerSlam 2013, 296,000 buys. Yeah, minus 62,000. Now the Champions, 189 buys. 2012, last year, 2013, 175 buys, down to 175,000 buys this year, 14,000. And sadly, WWE probably going to look at this to be Daniel Bryan's fault. And you know what? It's not. It is not Daniel Bryan's fault. And some people are like, wow, it's all his fault. It's all Daniel Bryan's fault. Or people are like, yeah, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, all these stuff. It is not their fault. You know what his fault is? I'm looking right there. I'm looking at the top. It's Vince McMahon's fault. It is his fault that he has made a product that basically, whether you're John Cena, hell, John Cena, Triple H, back in the day, Batista, Randy. Heck, I can't even say Randy Orton, because Randy Orton was completely and utterly destroyed multiple times. He had chances at the top, but WWE sabotaged him to a point that he's a lost cause. Hell, I still have no idea why he's for this main event angle. Hell, he had his second wellness violation this year, and since combined around him not really being a big draw for the WWE, I'm like, maybe they're going to put him on the mid-card, maybe release him at some points because he's so much as a headache. Not giving the biggest push that he had in his career. Seriously, it doesn't make any sense. Honestly, I thought maybe Dolph Ziggler, or hell, maybe a Brother Del Rio, give him something really interesting to do, or what have you, instead of him being, the blandest man alive, which that's what he is, the most blandest man ever. Give it to someone else there. It really frustrates me. And, of course, WWE will never, ever, and I do mean never, ever put the blame on itself. There's nothing really special about these pay-per-views when you think about it. I can sit back and watch all the stuff on YouTube. Hell, even from their own channel. They release 4 matches on their channel now at WWE, so I don't really don't need to watch. Heck, I can go on Daily Motion, or say Daily Motion, or stuff on YouTube to watch most of their matches on pay-per-view. And this is why I don't watch. Many pay-per-views. Heck, I barely even watch. I didn't even watch Hell in a Cell. I didn't even stream it. I didn't even stream Battleground. I just heard about the stuff and I laughed a bit. I barely watch. I caught the last minute of Hell in a Cell, but that's it. They're basically extended Raws now. And with Raw being 3 hours, why watch a pay-per-view if I had to pay $50 just to watch it? Why should I pay $50 to watch a Raw episode? If matches are great matches are happening on Raw and SmackDown, NXT, and Main Event, all great matches and everything else, and hell, they're going to do recaps anyway, why should I watch pay-per-view events? It just does. There's no real purpose for them. And not only that, and something really sad is that the domestic buys for Night of Champions did 92,000 buys. and I know this hurts some people like Daniel Bryan, and people are like, oh, that's it, Daniel Bryan is not going to get a huge push because of this, and that's why he's going to be low push, man. Well, let's be honest. Who is the reason, who is the fault of why guys that supposedly CM Punk and Daniel Bryan aren't draws? Hell, Randy Orton isn't a draw. It's because the WWE doesn't make them draws. The WWE does not make them must-see players. Because at the end of the day, it's how you're being featured. If you're not being featured as being important or being worthwhile, why should I watch you? Why should I care about you? And this is what happened. I knew this was going to happen, and the chickens have come home to roost. I've been saying this for many years. I've made YouTube videos about this. I talked this on my review show. I talked about this on my podcast, and now it is coming to fruition. The WWE's their non-attempt to make new stars, new main eventers, giving depth to the mid-card, real depth in the mid-card over 2008, 9, 10, 11, and 12 is biting them in the butt right now because the only person who's actually people give a damn about is John Cena, and he just came off through a huge surgery, and I don't know why the hell he's come back at this point because coming back is probably one of the dumbest reasons. It's just like, you know what, why is he coming back? I mean, he's like going to injure himself, and hell, I would not be surprised like a year or maybe 2 years he has to retire because the doctor's saying if you come back, you'll be seriously injured and you might not, walk or do anything normal again. I might expect the same thing with Randy Orton. Or he might get wellness again. Because you never know with someone like Randy Orton. And I don't know. With all this type of pressure on him, I wouldn't be surprised, but I might see him like 4 or 5 months from now when the storyline's being big and heavy, he's going to probably get his third wellness strike and wham, WWE's going to be even a worse position. And you know what? It's not. And it's not their fault. It's the WWE's fault of positioning. Triple H is going behind the scenes trying to do his best now, but if they did this stuff way back in 07 and 08 and 09, building up mid-cards, making people feel, a tag team division, making it feel like, really not afterthoughts, which they were for many, many moons, the WWE mid-card and tag team divisions were basically afterthoughts, especially when the WWE brand extension pretty much died when they became afterthoughts. That is what happens, when you have a situation like this. When you tell people that no one matters except John Cena, no one matters except for Triple H or The Undertaker or anyone else, all these other type of top echelon stars, you get this type of problem. And supposedly, I love this thing from a quote. It says, Barrows compares WWE as the, it's just like, wow, I think one of the high-ups right here from WWE. It's, let's see. Where is it? It's amazing clip about how really backwards the WWE who really just is. It's where is it? It's supposedly someone who is a real big guy in the WWE. Is it Dave Barrows? I don't know. I'll look up the clip, but it's someone in the WWE high up is saying, and let's see. It's somewhere, and I'm going to probably hate myself for not seeing it. It's just, oh gosh, it is to me one of the biggest failures ever of how someone is just so completely is. Let's see, what is his full name? Here it is. Let's see. Yes. George Barrows, the CFO of the WWE. Here it is, right here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this guy, George Barrows, and I quote, he says, because he, quote unquote, compared WWE to live sports. He says the similarities make WWE DVR proof. I'm going to repeat this again. Comparing WWE to live sports and saying the WWE, it's the similarities make WWE DVR proof. Forgetting the fact that most people in the United States, around the rest of the world, actually do DVR sports. They DVR live sports, because, hey, God forbid, they're like, hey, they're out of town. They're not going to look on Twitter. And God forbid, they look up everything else and watch the games, taped and see, wow, that was nice. Now, they don't look at scores or anything else. They watch the game for themselves. I mean, live sports are not immune to being DVR'd. And then the WWE, which honestly is laughably not even close to being DVR-proof. It is not even in the running of being DVR-proof because, hell, I can easily I have a late recording. I can record Raw and most of everything else. I can record it and just be like, you know what? I can skip like 90% of the stuff here because it's all filler and watch only like 5, 10, 15 minutes of the real meat of the story. It's just, wow. It's just amazing how how completely and utterly out of touch the main people of WWE are. Because having 3-hour Monday Night Raws, 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, people are going to really sit down and watch the full thing. I tried that. It's exhausting watching 3 hours of Raw. God bless you for people who still do it, but I'm not putting myself through that crap anymore. Unless I actually have to watch it for entertainment purposes. If Raw is Sin, me, Enigma, LC, and what have you, I sit there and riff on it. If we ever going to do that again, it's just like, I'm not going to sit and watch a full episode of Monday Night Raw, period, because it's too damn long. I have other things to do, and especially when Monday Night Football is around, I'm not going to sit and watch this pile of crap. And you know what? This is something that WWE had some type of, they should have done something to it, but in the end, it's on their fault. It is. It's just funny because a lot of people, and I love this, is that no one in Hollywood or anywhere else reacts this way. When things bomb in Hollywood or any big production television show, they usually the big movie stars get blamed. When they don't sit there and say the co-stars, everything else, co-star, people who play not really the big part role, they get blamed. But no, it's just no one WWE blames itself. No one truly blames the WWE high office. They don't blame themselves. They blame everyone around them. They blame everyone else except themselves. And it's downright despicable. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to me, DCT, and I'll have you. Anyway, DCT here. Peace and, let's see, it's DCT here. Peace and love. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Thanks for listening to me. I'll be right back next week here on the DCT Lounge, live on TalkShoe.com. Once again, thank you so much for listening to me, DCT. Later.